What's up, people? We are back with more of Katawa Shoujo. In the previous video, Hisao kinda sorta confessed his feelings to Rin, although it was more sort of like talking about the possibility of being more than friends, and whether Rin sort of saw things the same way, of ever seeing things the same way. But I felt that it came out of such a, not only a bad timing, but like almost out of a wrong place from Hisao. Like he mainly did it out of fear of something, fear of losing her, which I don't know, feels like it's not the best way to confess to someone, and it ultimately kind of turned out that way with Rin rejecting him. Although I felt like, sure, she rejected him, but I feel like she didn't. It didn't, like, usually when a person rejects each other, things just get awkward because you know that one person wants more than friends and the other person doesn't, so things really become awkward between each other to try and go back to just being friends and that sort of stuff. But I feel like that's actually not really the case, and I think as I mentioned in the previous video as well, is that she sort of said no out of obligation and not necessarily after like exploring her feelings and asking herself how she feels about Hisao. I feel like she just mainly said no because of like, yeah, I just don't have the time for that, so I just can't, not right now, so sorry. I felt like it was more a no for that reason, so there's still hope for Hisao, I guess. But I actually realized that the previous video was like the 50th video of Katawa Shoujo, which sounds pretty, quite a lot for the series so far, but considering we're only 2 routes in out of the 5, and there's sort of a Kenji ending as well, Kenji route, so I'm guessing we're going to be breaking the 100 barrier regardless. So yeah, I was thinking, should I do something special for the 50th, and then I actually forgot. Like, I even forgot to mention it in the previous video, so when we hit 100 videos, maybe we'll do a little something special. No idea what. You guys can give me suggestions if you want, but yeah, that's still a long ways away, so let's just continue with this one. Life settles into some sort of vague, undefined norm. I visit Rin whenever I can, but each time is as strange as the first. They consist mainly of me watching Rin at work, or just reading a book on the couch while she works. We barely talk at all. Long, quiet evenings stretch over the last few weeks of June. I sit on the couch in the atelier. Yeah, I remembered it. Atelier, listening to the quiet rustle of Rin's brush and my own heartbeat, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the latter. I am a silent visitor in this place, a ghost. At some point, I start thinking that my presence is meaningful to Rin somehow, but I never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore either, and try to stop thinking about it altogether. It's hard to do so, and doesn't get any easier with the passage of time. My heart aches every time I look at the awkward figure of the girl I decided I liked, yet who refused to acknowledge it. I still can't seem to find the right words to talk to her about anything at all, but I find quiet solace in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge when I can be close to her, even if it's like this. Rin works like a demon. How does a demon work exactly? There is barely a moment when she's without a brush between her toes, and not walking in circles around her current work in progress, estimating it from every angle and distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her will to work, to change herself into the sort of artist she believes she would be worthy of the trust of Nomiya and Sei have placed in her. Piles of sketches, works in progress, tubes of oil paint and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small atelier, making it even messier than it was before Rin acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind, the room is not in utter chaos. Rather, her system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate, only Rin herself can make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, but the tiniest brush to that from the tiniest brush to that half-empty tube of crimson that's the perfect shade for some picture in progress. Rin walks from one painting to another, looking at them as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself, or to the paintings, even when I'm present, always just quietly enough that I can't quite make out the words. Every day, Rin pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability, and even her soul to make good on that promise she made to me, or herself. Black marks appear underneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's skipping sleep in favor of painting. I'm somewhat surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello though, as I somehow feel it would break the silent magic of the evenings we share at the atelier. Sometimes Sei comes by when I'm there. She gives me a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like it that I'm always hanging out with Rin up here, but she never says a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Rin's work as Nomiya, but is visibly impressed nevertheless. However, when she turns her eyes from the wonderful works of art to look upon the little red-headed girl that made them, a sudden, deep sadness floats onto the surface of her expression. I can't explain it, and she never talks about it. June turns into July almost without warning. End of term exams loom dangerously close, but all I can think of is Rin. I feel like a sleepwalker at school, looking forward only to the next time I get to visit that silent place above Sei's gallery. After Rin refuses my attempts at directly helping with her work, I try to figure out other ways to help. It finally dawns on me that she isn't eating properly. Oh yeah, we're gonna buy her some food or make her food even better. My course of action decided, I stop at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. Oh yeah, we're even going to feed her, I think. I feel very energetic as I open the door to the atelier and greet Rin. I brought you some fruit. You need vitamins and actual food after all. Do you even eat up here? I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint. Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake the bag full of ripe oranges in my hand in a ploy to tempt Rin into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I brought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks into the bag. I can't eat oranges, Hisao. It does not work very well with my feet. That's alright. I'll do it. Of course I knew that. She told me herself after all. I extract the tiny fruit knife I had with me and select one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I began to peel it with my fingers. The strong scent of cut orange rind immediately fills the air as thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I remove the first section of the hard peel and shoot a glance at Rin. So, how's the work going? I don't know. It's like I'm in the center of some huge mountain of jelly, and I've yet to dig my way out. It must be stressful. I think it might be. Even though it's just painting, all this, everything feels really strange. I wonder if Rin is the kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white, fibrous stuff from oranges before eating them, or the more careless type who just eats them as they come. Maybe neither. I'm actually the one that would really remove all the white stuff. Yep. I'm the former type. I meticulously clean the orange slices one by one, while Rin watches the process with mild curiosity. I realize that I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislikes, or any of the other little details that make up the concept of a person for those around them. It's like in all this time, I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I finish lamenting that fact, I realize I've cleaned the entire orange and neatly split it into slices. I hold up a slice, bringing it closer to Rin so she can pick it up. Here. Aww. She takes it directly between her lips and then into her mouth. Oh, her lower lip briefly brushes against my fingertip. Rin chews the slice carefully, savoring it as much as possible. See, this is what I thought, like how he would sort of support her when she would be very, very busy with her art and just painting in general. Like, you know, just doing the little things for her, just helping her make sure, because Emmy's mentioned it as well, right? That she's a type of person that would even forget her own head if it wasn't attached to her body. Like, she would forget to eat, she would forget to take proper care of herself. I actually do that sometimes as well. Yeah, but so I can, I guess, somewhat relate. But like, these are the things that he can actually help her get through with this, right? Just the tiny things, like helping her or feed her every now and then, just help her to eat, remind her to eat, or just tiny little things like that. And I feel like that will actually help her a lot along the way. I become fixated on the movements of her jaw, the trickle of juice glistening on her lip, the way her throat moves when she swallows the orange slice. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently. It's not the same as it usually is. The orange? Painting. Aww, I feel like she lost the fun in it or something, because she feels like she's doing it as a job now or something. Aww. Oh. Well, is anything like that ever the same? It is. Sometimes. I think. I don't know what though. I might be starting to paint differently soon, if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double take. We stare at each other in silence, only that faint, tangy scent of orange floating between us and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth, just like the first one. I didn't think it would be like this. Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed Rin the rest of the orange, one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. The third I eat myself, and the rest are left in the plastic bag, which I put on a small desk next to the couch. She stands up and returns to her painting, with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it is completely unreadable. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means. Some days later, I spot Rin and Sei standing together in front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. They seem to be talking to each other while Sei has a smoke. Good afternoon. I say this even though it's not really afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I got caught up doing homework. It's going to be dark soon. Hello there, Hisao. Came to visit the little kitten again? Rin makes a face at the nickname. I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look a little bit like a cat. Hello. Sei turns back to Rin to continue the conversation they were having. So, in other words, everything is going well enough? Rin makes a difficult expression and turns her face away from me for some reason. It's difficult. It's like I'm missing something, but I will do it. Work hard, and it'll be fine. I'm going to have to start working on my part of the preparations. I need to do a sales catalog, invitations, decorations, advertisement, and so on. I need the names for your works, and we also need to think up the general theme for the exhibition. don't have anything like that. I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. If I cannot use them, I mean, sometimes I have to, but I think this is not a time like that at all. You don't like naming your works? I don't like it. Well, I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. Rin shakes her head vehemently. It's not like that. It's like, if I paint a cloud and call an octopus, people will think about it differently than if I paint a cloud and call it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I make a painting. It's not a word thing, it's a feeling thing. Like, I sort of understand what she means. Like, you have this sort of feelings that you, or thoughts in your mind when you're painting it, right? But it just simply can't be described in one sentence, or it just, the entire process of making up that art or the painting, it's hard to sort of sum it up in just a couple of words, right? Or just a title for the entire painting. So I can sort of understand that. The only thing would be to come up with new words for everything. But would it help at all? No, I don't think so. Then the paintings would just go unnamed one, and so on. That's a bit inconvenient, but that's no good. Unnamed means that you just didn't come up with a good name. And unnamed is a name, like that Greek guy with the sheep and all. Sei thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as she keeps looking at Rin's serious face. So you're saying your artwork should be completely without labels? I think that's what I'm saying. Sei lets out a dry laugh, the kind old ladies who smoke too much always seem to end up with. How does it go then? Okay, definitely not like that. I don't know. I have no. I actually, now that I tried to think about it, I don't think I've ever heard anyone cough like that. So yeah, I can't even try to make an attempt at, at laughing like that myself, because I have no freaking way how it goes. Let's hope your art will never end up in a museum. The curators would explode. She takes a contemplative puff on her cigarette, which has worn down not much more than the butt. She then drops it in an ashtray affixed to the wall next to the door. Then again, it could work. What do you mean? This namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. It's a good unifying theme, and something people can grasp onto easily. Allows for a lot of room for interpretation. It gives a good impression. Think about it. All sorts of associations can be made, starting from identity and self-definition, all the way to whatever you want to think about it. We could call your exhibition Nameless and build it on that theme. How does that sound? Rin thinks about this for a while. I'm not sure how Sei managed to get so fired up by Rin's reluctance to apply names to her work. It feels like she might be extrapolating too much, but it's a pretty impressive sounding idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. For what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Nobody cares, Hisao. No, I'm joking. Sei reaches into her pocket for another cigarette, lighting it with a neon green butane lighter. Her forehead wrinkles, and she rubs it as she appears to furiously think more on this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, but every now and then, she takes a sharp drag from the cigarette. Yes, I think this would work out pretty nicely. I'm going to take this as the starting point and work from there. I'm going in to work on this. You go back upstairs and try to find your missing ingredients. I'm sure it'll come to you, sooner or later. Rin doesn't reply, so Sei takes one last long pull from her cigarette and drops it in a tray to join with others of its kind. The gallery owner turns to head back inside, but is stopped by Rin just as he reaches for the door handle. Say? What is it, kitten? Can I have some cigarettes? What, Rin? No! Rin, what? That is something I never expected her to ask. What? Is she feeling that stressful? I mean, it's something that you probably couldn't read on her face or like read from her body language at all, because that's just how Rin is, you know. But oh my god, really? She looks at Rin incredulously, clearly not having expected such a direct request. Not that I did either. Well, how is she even... I guess you can smoke while keeping the cigarette just in your mouth the entire time. Like, you don't have to take it out of your mouth with your hand. I don't know. I'm not a smoker, so I wouldn't know. Don't tell your teacher. She stuffs the packet in Rin's pocket, along with the neon green lighter. Wow, that's just like taunting her. How is she even gonna grab it out of her pocket with her feet? It's like, you want cigarettes? Here, grab them yourself. They're in your pocket. Ha 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 ha.